Welcome to the show, Christian. Really excited to have you today.
Thank you so much, Anand. Thank you for the invite. I appreciate it. After having you on my podcast, I'm excited to be on your podcast. So happy to be here.
Yes, I guess we have been in conversation for a couple of months now, but then, yeah, finally I succeeded in bringing you to my podcast because I know you are a busy person out there. I mean, Christian, I mean, we all know you as this, young superstar CEO of Tekpon Awards. But, tell us more about you as a person and the growth of Tekpon.
Yes. So I'm one of the co-founders of Tekpon. Tekpon at the base is a software marketplace helping companies choose the right software for their businesses. Last year we came with the idea of doing an in-person show, the awards, Tekpon Awards, because there was no event to celebrate the industry leaders. There are a lot of badges and online awards that everyone can hand out really easily, and they have no more value. But when you have an in-person event with real winners, networking, it's a different atmosphere. We traveled to a lot of the conferences, most of the SaaS conferences around the world, and we realized people don't really like sales booths because a lot of salespeople come there and they want to pitch you at all scope. They want to get the data, add to CRM, and then follow up with the emails. You do a lot of, let's say, networking, but on a transactional level because you talk with 100 people and everybody says, yes, we'll do some business at home, we work together, we start a partnership, we invest, and so on. But when you get home, nobody responds because it's very transactional. You talk with everybody and there is no value added. You have a lot of speakers that come because they have sponsored shows, sponsored pitches, sponsored panels, and they bring no value to the audience. A lot of people are easily bored. They stay on the phone while there's a speech, and they don't really like this part as well. Of course, there are really great speakers, but it's hard to bring them, and a lot of the panels are sponsored. And we saw this need in the market that there is a need for a real networking event where people can actually connect. We realize people connect better on a boat, in a bar, let's say in an environment that is more personal, especially in Europe. This is how things work here. And we said, okay, let's create an event to celebrate the stars. We have a lot of stars that attend and can attract the other people. So really high bootstrappers, marketers, founders, and so on, and focus purely on networking, different activities here at the event, so that they can get to know each other and do business. And we, not being an event company at the base, we have this, let's say, advantage of not needing to sell our soul for sponsorship or sell our soul for tickets. So we really carefully choose who can invite, who can who can attend the event, who can participate, to make sure they're actually in a SaaS company, working at a SaaS, founded a SaaS, or in AI nowadays. And yeah, to not sell sponsorship and have sponsored talks, sponsored pitches, or sponsors that are not a fit and cannot bring value. And having this big advantage, we managed to create a really high quality event, being yeah, carefully well chosen. And I think it's a big advantage for us because the event helps us a lot. Is the name Tekpon Awards, not like a SaaS Summit or AI Summit. So after the event, we get a lot of buzz, and everybody asks, "What is Tekpon?" They go on our website, they check the software, they buy, they do business. So yeah, it's a different perspective, and I'm here to tell you more about event marketing
Yeah.
from a company that is not an event company at the base. I mean, a conference business. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this idea of the awards for the stars, and also the places that you choose for the events. And I know there is one coming up, the TechCon 2025. I think it's in June.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that because I couldn't join the last time, but then I've seen these pictures and how it's different from some of these other SaaS events. Because
Yeah.
exactly like you said, there are a lot of events, but how to differentiate, and maybe that's also a few things that I want to discuss today as well,
Yes.
because I mean, every company wants to do events, but they're struggling with that. So maybe it's good that we are sharing some of those points today as well. Yeah. Are awards and and events mainly kind of a branding play, or can they also directly influence pipeline? according to
I
you?
think they can directly influence pipeline. It's really important to do your homework before every event to see if you have a networking app to connect with people before, to post that you're attending, to search for your network in the different cities. I saw recently a LinkedIn post saying how they use Sales Navigator, for example. I recently
Yeah.
attended SaaS, and they were looking for people in Malmo specifically to to meet outside of the conference, so in other days. And if you are in that city, in that area, to meet with potential customers, investors, partners, depending on your preference. So it's really really important to be active at these kind of events. And of course at our awards gala, if you are nominated or if you win an award on the stage, it really helps with the branding, because they can use this award on LinkedIn. A lot of buzz is created. You can use this on your website to do a press release. So it really depends on how active you are in the ecosystem and how much you are willing to go the extra mile to promote this kind of event. For example, last year, Olga, the VP of marketing at Semrush, won the Marketer of the Year at Tekpon Awards, and her post got something like 600 likes on LinkedIn.
Oh,
Likes, not impressions. So this is a lot of uh, potential audience, potential customer, potential partners that you can do, and it's incredible because people really appreciate when you win something. When you, it's a celebration, and people like to celebrate. Yeah, and it's a different concept. But again, we do this every time we go. We take pictures with a lot of people. We post on LinkedIn. Other people in our network see that we really connect and are active and have relationship and have partners and let's say, yeah, customers and relationships and networking in our area. So it's really important to be someone that's active. I will tell you how our founder and CEO Alex did it. He got all of us
yeah.
together on our first trip to Barcelona to Saster, and he let us all do networking and be active in that ecosystem. He saw the people that were the most active and the
Hmm.
ones that had the best results and most connections and most partners and most friends made, let's say. And after that, those were the people that uh, went to the next events, because yeah, it's in your DNA. You can actually build it. I consider myself an introvert. Everybody says I'm an extrovert because I know people and I go to these events, but I really feel like an introvert. All my life I felt that way, and it's a preference. So introverts also have their advantages. You don't have to be the loudest in the room to do quality
Yeah.
networking, but actually be a cool person, be invested in the others more than you are interested in yourself. Build a relationship, talk not only about business and transactional, and yeah, absolutely it can lead to pipeline.
I mean, interesting points because yeah, I think that's some of the things that maybe some companies are making the mistake of. Yeah, they think yeah, it's all about just having a booth in some of these events, and then they just get some contacts which they think it's are leads, and they try contacting them. I think that's how predominantly that's how these event has gone.
Yes,
But
yes,
I think yeah, you brought in a lot of point on how much they need to be well prepared, like pre-event, during the event, and post-event to
yes.
kind of make an impact. And if that's done right, yes, then it definitely does influence the pipeline. And
And
yeah, so I think that's a very insightful point that you highlight.
and I think it also helps startups a lot, because
Yeah,
when you get your first boot, your first sponsorship, to your network is the first sign of success, the first sign of doing something, of sponsoring, of attending. They see you in person. They build more trust. Unfortunately, or fortunately, in this AI area, human trust is more and more important. We trust leaders. We trust those that post content on LinkedIn, those that are active, those that have a podcast, those that attend events, and when you have a problem, when you have a question, when you have something related to their area of expertise, we go to them.
yeah.
So yeah,
Got it. Okay. I
I
mean,
wanted to I wanted to add something. Sorry.
yeah,
Also for
right.
startup founders, when you have an idea and you want to launch a startup, it's really difficult to find real feedback, because if you ask your close network, they will all say it's a good idea, they like it, they will use it, but this feedback is not real because they don't want to, yeah, to give real feedback. It's really hard to tell
Correct.
a friend that your product, your idea is not that great. And you get real feedback when you're at the conference. You have your exact target audience or potential customers. You test the idea directly. You pitch them the idea of what do you think about this AI agent, this new SaaS tool that I'm about to launch? You get real feedback that it's either a validation or a punch in the face, and you realize you need to adapt, and nobody is really interested in what you're building, or you don't know how to sell it yet. You build a great product, but you don't know how to position it, how to explain it. So I think it's really important also for sales teams at companies that are already scale ups. They really understand feedback. They take a look at the potential customers on how their eyes move, how they behave, the body language, and they see if it's a fit or if they're saying, yeah, I like it just because they don't want to be rude. Um, Rather on video calls, it's easier to say yeah.
Correct.
So in person, you get a better feedback, and it's more harsh, but it's better. It's the truth.
True, true. Yeah, I mean, to continue on this, yeah, the same topic, because I'm sure this is one of the most important questions, and a lot of marketers do have this, because especially in SaaS, yeah, where companies are shifting more towards profitability, every marketing effort is focused or is scrutinized based on ROI. In such a scenario, and yes, if events are done right, the way that you have mentioned, I mean, according to you, what are the best ways to measure ROI from events beyond just these MQLs, leads, or attendees?
I see. I think it's really a perspective of the brand DNA. For example, I really
Mm.
follow the CEO of Hootsuite, Irina, and she really talks about it on LinkedIn about how every impression, every like counts, and you cannot directly attribute it to revenue. But for example, you attend an event this year, and after 6 months, one of the sales reps gets an inbound call or email that they're interested in that particular solution, and they don't attribute this to the conversation they had a couple of months earlier. So it's really hard to track, but you can measure the impact by seeing on social. From my perspective, social is really important for us, especially LinkedIn is the only social media for B2B, and there you can see the real feedback where the customers are if you are selling into B2B. Congratulations from partners, from employees. You can see how many requests they got after that event, how many messages, how do prospects react when they're talking about attending the same event. So there are multiple ways of actually tracking it, especially the leads directly, the MQLs that you get at the event. But unfortunately, it's not a direct ROI like you do a Google ad campaign, and you can see number of clicks, impressions, conversion rate, and so on. It's a different perspective on that. But you need this as part of the go-to-market strategy to be complete, from my perspective. Also depends on the brand. If you are selling to manufacturing companies, for example, you don't have a reason to attend SaaS events. Only if you want to learn something new from the content, to get growth strategies from other SaaS companies, but you don't sell directly to those SaaS events. So again, depends really. A lot of SaaS companies sell to SaaS companies. So yeah.
Got it. So yeah, but definitely yes. It's a long term play. It's about building a brand, networking, and yeah, and that resulting in a pipeline. But yeah, definitely it's a long term play. It's not like a demand, capture activities like a Google. And that's often, I think, the biggest mistake that we have been doing
Yes.
maybe the last 5 6 years. Since we have these demand capture activities, it's the activities that are easier to measure. But like you said, this has to be a bigger and a long term play that sits well with your GTM strategy as well. um, yeah,
I
on,
will add
on the
something.
similar
I will add
lines.
something, please.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Uh, Last year at SaaS, we brought this magazine to the event. It was a lot of
Oh yeah.
buzz. This year I attended alone, Sassiest, and I had people coming to me. Oh, you are that guy with the magazine that shared it everywhere last year. But I didn't talk with them directly. I didn't give them a magazine. They never approached me, but they still remembered I was the guy with the magazine that was doing the buzz, or with the book, the same. I still get questions to this day about the
Okay.
book, the networking. So you are on people's minds. This is the most important part. I wanted to add this, to be constantly on people's minds. And when, for example,
Yes.
you are looking for a contract solution, or you are looking for a CRM, or you are looking for sales tools, They think of you as a thought leader, and when they face the particular problem, maybe it's not today, because they don't have a need for it today. But when they have a
Right.
friend, a partner, a potential customer for you, or their own need, they will 100% go to you because they trust you. So
No, I think yeah, that's the most important point. Good that you highlighted that. Yeah,
yes,
what's more important is to be on people's mind when and yeah, when they actually need that solution, you should be on the top of the mind. So I think
yes,
that's where events play a big role, and so does some of these demand generation activities, which, like you said, may not be able to be directly attributed. And yeah, I mean, attribution in itself is a different discussion, which I'm not a big fan of going into details. But yeah, it's good that you brought that point, and then yeah, I think that's the most important point out there. I mean, yeah, I mean, how do you see the future of B2B events and awards evolving? With AI and personalization, because we have seen this AI evolution in the last maybe 1 or 2 years. How do you see this change? Do you see it change at all? Because yeah, networking, that's not something AI can replace, and that should
yes.
continue, obviously. Yes, but do you see AI is, yeah, I mean, bringing any change to the events?
I think there will be a lot of spamming because
Mm.
now you can scrape the list and send tens of personalized messages. I'm still, for example, this week, SaaS Talk USA is happening. I just
Oh,
posted on LinkedIn that I'm attending. I will not be attending, unfortunately, this year, but I still get messages that let's meet at SaaS Talk USA, and I'm not attending. So
yeah.
it's the things that it will become even more spammy because traditionally this used to be a space where you have to get human involvement to actually be active, to do a lot of efforts to outreach to people to meet before, and it will get quite spammy using AI with all the personalized messages and meetups request, and I think it will become more transactional, unfortunately,
Mm.
and this is not a good thing for the space. But when people feel that it's really transactional, they don't want to continue that conversation, and they are really being pitched to constantly. Um, Apart from that, I think it's good on the AI matchmaking side. I saw a lot of conferences apps that do a matchmaking. It's not 100% accurate. You know your ICP better, but it's good to have some suggestions. For example, if you are selling to salespeople, to see the list of sales leaders on that. Yeah, apart from that, I think also with the marketing it helps a lot. I saw conferences promoting their next event but doing
Mm.
pictures with AI or videos with AI, but let's say not a huge differentiator, so it's not a disruptor like on
Got it.
content, on writing content, or it's different ways of marketing and doing the same things but more automatically, let's say, which is both good and bad depending on how you use it. If you're spamming people, it's not a good thing, but if you use it smart, 100% it could be a better strategy, and you can do more with two people at the event rather than having a team of 10.
Got it. Yeah, I mean, I guess the whole purpose of events, especially networking, being on top of the mind, gets lost. Yeah, when you indulge in such AI spam activities, because then you're clearly not building any relationship there. It's just another campaign project that you're just doing based on automations and stuff. And I think yeah, that's the big realization that event marketers should have if they want to actually see a long-term ROI and pipeline from events. Yeah,
Yes, yes.
definitely yes.
It as a list of leads. You just a new list of leads. If you wanted list, you go to a tool like Apollo. There you can find the leads. You can target them directly and send a message. You need to use it with yeah a lot of effort, and the ones that make it are also rewarded because those have a really high conversion rate.
Yeah.
The deals that are in person, I think also higher ACV. From my
Mm.
perspective, depends, but I think you can do large deals in person.
Correct, true. Yeah.
And types of
um
partnerships you never thought of. I think also
yeah, yeah.
acquisitions. Uh, it's really hard to sell your baby, to sell your company through just an email. You want to meet the brokers, you want to meet the potential
Exactly.
buyer. Partnerships the same. If you want to do co-marketing, to do different activities, it's important to have that kind of trust in person because everybody can say numbers nowadays. It's
Exactly, yes. Yeah, I mean, that's more of my next question, because oftentimes when events are measured based on attendees, you are forced to, or you end up just inviting, as many people as possible. So how do you attract the right audience rather than just anyone? Because yeah, it's easy to just invite anyone and a lot of people would be ready to join them, and you can show that as an increase in attendees, but that's not the right way, right? So how do you
Yes.
attract the right audience for events?
So for us, I told you at the beginning, we have a big advantage that we don't need to make money from tickets.
Yeah.
So we can invite potential winners, potential partners directly. It's more of an
Mm.
invite only event, um, because we're not limited to this. We don't have, let's say, a business model where you need to sell at least 1,000 tickets to be profitable
Okay.
and to continue next year. So for us, this is a really big advantage because we are not limited. And from what I saw, I'm talking with Vincent, the founder of SaaS on the Beach, a new event happening in Barcelona next week with 40 SaaS founders. And he told me from the feedback he got, founders and executives that are really, really successful don't want to pay for a ticket. They prefer
True.
being
Yeah.
invited. They prefer a VIP treatment. And when they see that they are invited, they are more willing to come rather than you pitching a ticket of $500, $1,000. But I think this podcast is more for companies that want to host events.
Yeah.
So if you are hosting a side event next to a big conference like SaaStr, SaaStalk, B2B Rocks, or other conferences, I think it's a good idea to make it smaller, like 20 people on a dinner or 50 standing and at a pub, and you cover the bill, which can be
Mm.
like $2,000 depending on the city, and you carefully invite those that must attend. Rather, my preference is to be a smaller event where everybody can get to meet themselves, and rather than just a big location with 150 people and a lot of nonsense. So yeah, at those events, again, if you are doing side events like this, smaller, I'd say it's better. You pay for the food, drinks, doesn't matter location. You cover that cost. It's an investment, and they don't need to pay for those tickets. And I wanted to add is, yeah, we did some dinners, for example, next to conferences together with a partner with Dealfront. I think 15, 20 people at the Michelin star restaurant. It was like a $2,000 bill, the note for the restaurant. They had a full menu, really, really nice location, 20 people sitting. And it was really, really valuable because everybody got to meet with each other. We switch
True. Yeah.
tables. You are sitting at a glass of wine, drinking some fancy food, and it's a different perspective rather than meeting at a booth, a lot of chaos, a lot of noise, a lot of yeah. I need to sell. I have targets, and it's a different option. They all of the people posted on LinkedIn. We asked them to post about this event because we invite them to this nice location and they got to network. We created also a lot of buzz on that so that we can invite further attendees and exposure for our brand and our partner brand, Dealfront. And it was really, really a successful initiative. So with a $2,000 investment, you can get 20 ICPs directly sitting at
Mm.
your table with two, three people from your team talking about the market, the needs, the solutions, not directly pitching the tool, and also a lot of social, because prospects are also following you on LinkedIn. From my perspective,
Yeah.
again, depends on the brand, but prospects are
Right.
following your company and yourself on that. And if they see you yeah, networking, doing sort of nice events, good dinners, traveling everywhere, they have more trust and they want to choose you as a partner. Because when you choose a solution, a SaaS, a software that you want to do, you also choose a partner because you know you work for long term, especially in this kind of deals. So if you sell a $10 software for removing background, it's not a fit. But if you sell B2B, an enterprise, I think this is really, really important. Trust. Everything is about trust.
Got it. Got it. Yes. Um, Definitely, yes. I mean, I think it's all about credibility and how, exactly like you said, they basically want a partner, a solution partner, or kind of someone whom they can work closely with, than just a company that sells a product and then that's it. So, and I'm definitely, yes, such, events and awards, if done right without, tickets, like you said, would definitely play a big role in building credibility for these SaaS brands, because we
Yes.
already discussed at the start that brand building along with networking is important. But since a lot of events is based on tickets. And yeah, I mean, people who sponsor obviously would get a certain, certain things that they could do. There is
Yes.
not much credibility that comes out there. But yeah, it's good that you highlighted how important that is and how prospects or people would want to partner with a solution on the brand. Great. I think it's a lot of insights, a lot of inputs, and a lot of
Yeah.
thoughts, Christian. And yeah, yes, I know there's a Tekpon Award coming in a month, and yeah, looking forward to that as well. So,
Thank
I
you.
mean, thank you so much for sharing your insights, your experience, your expertise with us today. I mean, it's
100%.
been fascinating to hear about how you've built the TechPon Awards, how you're differentiating that from the rest of the events, and also your valuable insights on how B2B, especially SaaS companies, should focus on events going forward. Yes, a lot of people are doing it, but they're not able to see the ROI because of these mistakes, and this is how we should do it going forward. So, great, thanks once again, Christian. It's been a pleasure,
Thank you
having
so
you
much.
on.
With this conversation, I realized how much I like this topic, and
Yes.
it's a passion of mine. And yeah, together with Alex, every time we go to a conference, we have let's say a saying, a joke between us that the whole industry needs to see us when we go to this
Yes.
event. Everybody on LinkedIn that follows us, they need to know we're in Malmo. Next week we're in Paris, so it's it's like a story. We also build this story, and people really enjoy stories. This is what they want to hear, and they want to see this built in public nowadays. So it's really, really important to be transparent. You see some posts on LinkedIn that you say are cringe or too transparent or giving too much information, let's say
Mhm.
from the back end of the company, and they are really, really viral because they offer value and people are human. They buy from people, and it's really important to do that. And for example, OneFlow, I take a look at the website, I see, okay, it's a solution that helps me with the contracts. But when I saw people wearing the green t-shirts everywhere at the conferences that I went, okay, it's a, it's a real brand, it's a real company where I can put my trust that my contracts are safe, all my data is safe, they are signed, we can count on them if it comes to lawyers or other problems. So in every B2B SaaS solution, you need to sell trust because people give you
Yes.
their money and their data and their name, and yeah, our website is not enough from my perspective. Of course, you can go really, really high, scale it, no action, let's say other events or event marketing. But I think from a point, depends on the company size and what you're selling, you need to be active in the ecosystem as well to
Yes.
sponsor, to attend, to be there. Some start at the startup stage to get the feedback. Other when they are listed and they have a marketing budget, they don't know how to spend it on. They also test it on event marketing. So it depends on the company DNA.
Yes. And yeah, I mean, you have definitely succeeded in bringing that transparency. And yeah, because I've started to hear a lot about TechPon, I would say maybe the last 1 year. So you're definitely doing everything right, I
Thank you.
would say. But yeah, looking forward to your TechPon 2025
Thank you so
event.
much.
Thanks once again, Christian. Thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much. Thank you.